I thought now would be a really good time to do an update on the Project Pan because we are seeing product after product being released, and not only that, but we're seeing a lot of products put into kits, and it's really putting things into perspective to me in the sense of seeing that the overconsumption that's happening can happen so quickly during the holidays. So in general, I feel like when we're talking quantity, a lot of us are consuming way more than we typically would throughout the year. So here is my little reminder to you guys, as well as to myself, that we probably, if you're watching this video, you and I, we have a lot of makeup to go through. I've been doing a project pan since the summertime. I've been slowly doing kind of like a rolling project pan, and what that means essentially is that we have a group of products and I'll either roll products in or out as I find fit, but they're still technically part of the project pans. So we are on our third update. So if you have not already joined me on this project pan journey, I highly recommend that you do, even if it just means that you have one solo product that you try to pan while we go on this journey. That's better than nothing in my opinion. Now I have decided to add some stuff as well as put some things on the back burner. I will be covering all of that in this video today. So if you're interested in seeing what those products are, then let's get started. Now, if you guys are new here to my project pan, I highly advise you to check out my previous videos during the project pan. I have 3 other videos, I believe, where I'm talking all about it, and you can kind of see the progression of all of these products, as well as not so much the progress on some of the other ones. So I'll link all of that in the description down below for you guys. But let's start off with our first product, the Mercier Ultra Blur Pressed Powder. Now, if you have been watching these project pans, you know that I recently in the last couple months took a trip and this product ended up shattering. All of you gave me such good advice, such good feedback on what to do with this, and I took no one's advice because I've been so lazy and I've kind of just been staring at this, trying to figure out what to do with it. I know everyone is telling me to just press it back together. Every time I press a compact back together, whether it's a powder compact, if it's an eyeshadow compact, the quality of the product just changes. I don't know what it is. I like completely break it up. I make it really fine. I make it into basically loose powder, and then I go in with the rubbing alcohol. I press it down really nicely, but I feel like I always press it down too hard. I don't know. Maybe I just need to suck it up and do it, because at this point having it in here is just such a nuisance. And honestly, these last couple of weeks, I want to say the last 2 weeks or so, I haven't really reached for this that often, which is very surprising because you guys know I love this powder. I wanted to go ahead and break this up and put it into a separate compact and just call it a day. But when I looked, you guys, I didn't have any small compacts to put this in. I don't have any like jars or anything like that that I feel like I can empty out. Well, let me take that back. I probably most definitely do have something. I'm just making excuses at this point, but I don't know. I'm trying to use this except for the last like 2 weeks or so, but aside from that, I was still using this pretty religiously. You can see right here how our powder is doing. She's not doing so great, you guys. She's not doing that great. And a lot of you mentioned that I can weigh it, and I'm happy to report that I finally pulled out my scale right here. So we're going to be weighing a bunch of these products now, instead of just kind of like guessing what's going on. So back to the progress on this guy. I don't think we have any visible progress here. I have been using it, so I'm sure that we've kind of dwindled this down just a little bit, but we'll check back in on the next update and see if I've done anything with this in terms of pressing it or putting it in a new jar or container. My Sigma Color Correcting Duo is my trusty product here on the project pan because every time that I've shown it, I feel like we've seen a lot of progress here. As you can see, this one is going pretty strong. Last time I talked about how that could kind of be like the edges of the product, like we were starting to hit that. And now I can confidently say that I think that this is definitely the edges of this product. I love this color corrector. It is marketed, I believe, as like an under eye brightening corrector, but I use this all over my face. I use it on my hyperpigmentation spots. I use it under my eyes. I use it anywhere that I have uneven skin tone, any redness, and this just works so well. The best part about this is the two tones to it, so you can really customize it. Recently, I have been getting much more pale. If you guys have noticed in the last couple of weeks that I've been like uploading my videos. Since the summer is over, I am losing quite a bit of my tan, and because of that, I've been reaching in to this side, the more bright peachy side, versus this like rosy peachy side a lot more. And I love that I have that option. It's just such a great product. The formula of this, I always talk about it. It's nice and tacky. It's nice and thick, but still really blendable. Stays exactly where you put it, even when you put another product on top of it. Next, we have the Tower 28 Sculptino. And last time I felt like we saw a very noticeable difference in the dent of this one, but this time it's very, very minor. And I can say it's probably because I didn't really reach for this too often whenever I was on vacation. I can't even remember if I brought it with me on my last trip, because if you are familiar with the Tower 28 cream products, they are very dewy, very hydrating. And while I love that look, it's just a little bit more difficult to set down and work with when I'm traveling. Specifically for me as someone with oily skin, I do find with these cream products from Tower 28, if I want it to last all day, then I have to make sure that I set it, especially on vacation. You know, you have longer days, you're typically out and about for extended amounts of time. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm on vacation, I give myself like very little time to get ready and do my makeup, just because I get caught up doing other things. So I end up giving myself like maybe 30-45 minutes to get my hair, makeup, and get dressed, like get all of that done. And I just need something that's going to be quick, kind of more self-setting, not so fussy. And during the summertime, these are not the products for me. During the winter, when it's cooler, when it's drier out, these are great because it still gives me that dewy look and everything. But in the summer, when this requires more setting, it's a little bit more difficult. I still really love this formulation. There's nothing wrong with it. The tone of this is just unmatched. It is the perfect contour bronzer shade for myself because it does have a little bit of gray in it. However, it is still slightly more warm, so it's not necessarily like a gray contour, you know, it's definitely still more brown. It's just a cooler brown. We're still chugging along. I feel like in the next couple of weeks I will be reaching for this a lot more because it is starting to get a little bit cooler, or at least a little less humid outside. So this is definitely going to hit the rotation again soon. Next is another product that actually does really well in these Project Pan videos. It is this tiny little guy. This is my Makeup by Mario, the Perfect Brown Eyeliner. And as you guys can see, we are down to the last bits of this. It's actually starting to dry out. But I'm noticing now when I try to kind of like make my wings right here, it's tugging a little bit. It's a little bit harder to blend out with this little brush, and it's very noticeable when I'm blending it out with the brush, just because this is not going to be as structured as something like a dense, I don't know, sponge, or just something a little bit harder. These are definitely a little bit more loose, and it requires the eyeliners to be more creamy, and I'm noticing that I'm having a little bit of difficulty. But not only that, I'm noticing that in my tight line, when I go in to tight line it, I kind of have to go back and forth a little bit more, so it's starting to feel a little irritating. And I think I showed you guys this last time, but this is pretty much, this has come out. It's broken. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. It was working just fine even when I noticed it first broke. But I'm a little bit on the fence on this. I don't know how to handle this one. I think it's still usable. I think I will continue to use it until it just like starts to skip and is not usable whatsoever. But I have a feeling that we're not going to be able to use like the last itty bitty bits of this one because I think it's going to dry out faster than we get to that point, you know. But either way, looking at the progress on this, we still have really good progress on this. I will say I do still use this quite often. It's just getting a little bit difficult to use. I think I mentioned in previous videos, I do have a backup of this eyeliner, and don't come for me for that because I actually bought that backup way long time ago. I think it was this past spring or even last fall whenever Makeup by Mario was having a sale, because I thought that this was either going to dry out or I was going to finish it very, very soon. And these actually last such a long time, such a long time. You do not need a backup of this. Just wait until you're like at the very, very end of it and decide then if you want to get a backup for this. So last time I mentioned 3 products that I was kind of putting on hold. They were the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer in the shade Medium, the Magic Hour Blush from Tower 28, the cream blush, and then also Merit Fox Flush Balm. I actually didn't bring any of those with me traveling within the time frame of August, September, October. I did travel all of those months and I didn't bring them with me. Those have been tucked away into my drawers. By the way, I'm trying to say drawers differently because so many people were so angry at how I say drawers. I say drawers. Drawers? And everyone was like, it's not drawers, it's drawers. So I don't know what that's about. I feel like tomato, you guys knew what I was talking about. But anyways, I digress. Those have been tucked away for the time being, and I actually feel like within the next month, I'm probably gonna pull those back out and start using them again, just to get them back into the fold. I think it's been long enough that I haven't really used them, but I just wanted to update you guys on those and let you know what's going on with all of that stuff. But something that's been very consistent within my routine and in this project pan, the Haus Labs Fire Moon Blush. I use this in some capacity pretty much every time I wear makeup. I love to mix this with different blushes. I've noticed that I really like to do that just to give it more of like an ombre effect and also to be mindful to actually use this product. And I am noticing again, as I am getting a little bit lighter in my natural complexion, just how warm this product is. It's not bad by any means, but I kind of enjoy how this blush is kind of changing the way it looks on my skin as the weeks progress, because it's making me feel like I'm wearing a new blush, you know what I mean? But it's the same beautiful buttery pigmented formulation. Last time in the photos, we could see that the line that's connecting the two sides of the H was starting to fade. That is pretty much completely gone now, and we're starting to fade parts of the H, like parts of the sides. I like to look at these and I'm like, oh, the pillars are starting to disappear. This is really exciting for me. I truly don't think that I go through blush very often because my collection is just very, very large. So it's fun to see an actual change and progress within one of my blushes, especially because I just love this formulation, and I'm very, very glad that I still feel this way about this product. I was a little afraid that as time progressed with this project pan, I would just start hating all of the products that I had included in this project pan, but honestly, I think this has made me love it even more. I've also combined it with a couple highlighters and stuff since it is more of that matte formula, but it definitely has a little bit of like a satin matte to it. This is just incredible. I love these blushes in general, but this shade I'm still really, really loving. My Summer Fridays Butter Lip Balm, again, I don't know where it went, and that's a good sign. I will say I think that is a good sign because I have made it a very, very strong point to bring it with me everywhere, and somehow, somewhere along the way of the last 2 weeks, I don't know where it went because I have had it by my desk. I've been applying it as I've been working at my desk. I've taken it with me whenever we've left the house. I am trying my darndest to finish that lip balm, and I'm telling you guys, the Summer Fridays lip balms, while they are expensive, there's a lot of product in those things. They really fill it up, I will say. But I'm noticing that the formulation is just not as thick as what I want. Like, I'm noticing that it feels a little bit thinner than something like the Ole Henriksen lip peptides. Those I have been itching to use, and unfortunately I feel like the reason for that is because I have been using the Summer Fridays ones a lot, and while it does keep my lips hydrated, I don't feel like it adds any hydration, you know? Like, my lips, when they're in a good state, the Summer Fridays lip balms keeps it that way, you know? But if I've gone a couple days without taking care of my lips, maybe I'm not reapplying lip balm or a lip mask enough, and my lips start to get a little bit dry, then I feel like it takes a lot of the Summer Fridays lip balm to start to make my lips feel rehydrated, like back to what they were, you know? But I don't feel that way about the other lip balms that I've used recently, like the Edam lip balms. Those are nice and thick and very, very hydrating. Those also have some sort of like exfoliating property to them. So that could be why my lips feel a little bit more hydrated and renewed, as well as with the Ole Henriksen ones. Those just all together on another level. They are such a thick, hydrating lip mask. So I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about the Summer Fridays lip balm. Now, the shade Vanilla Beige, I still love. That's still my all-time favorite nudie pinky brown lip balm. There hasn't been another one to really take the place of how that looks on my lips. Next, we do have our Bareminerals lip liner. This is a discontinued collection. It's from the Gen Nude Under Over Lip Liner collection in the shade Freestyle, or at least I think that's the shade. It's very confusing on here. This lip liner, I love it because it is the perfect shade to just kind of contour my lips. It really doesn't add much color. It just adds a little bit of like this shadow look, but there's just enough of a beigey color here to where it looks natural. It doesn't look like I'm using a gray contour lip liner, you know? I still love this. I'm still on the hunt to find a dupe for this, and believe it or not, you guys, I have not found one yet. Every time that I get a new lip liner, or if I go to this store and I see a lip liner that might be similar, I'll swatch it. And if I'm at the store, I'll swatch it and I'll leave it like that until I get home to swatch this next to it. Nothing is the exact same, and it makes me so sad. I'm not too bummed out though, because we still have a long way to go. I'm sure by the time I finish this, I will find something, if not identical, similar enough to kind of take its place. But I love this. It's nice and creamy. My favorite type of lip liners are going to be the pencil sharpener lip liners, just because I feel like they last a bit longer on the lips. They still are very creamy. I can kind of like blend it out as it's wet, but they do dry down really, really nicely. And there's something so satisfying about like sharpening these lip liners. But I'm actually really happy about my progress with this one, because I have a lot of lip liners that I kind of rotate through that are not in this project pan. I still have to be very conscious about using what I have in this project, you know, but this is kind of like second nature. I love to use this one. This is just so, so good. Every other day I'm using this guy. I thought that I would see more progress in the comparison, to be honest, with the last time that we did our video, but not as much as I thought. Same thing kind of goes with the Sephora Collections contour stick. I feel like I keep talking about this. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this in my last like 4 videos or something like that. I am not seeing a lot of progress physically within like my little paper where I draw the line to show how much we've used of this. But this, as you can see, is completely flat. And I feel like that's because this is so creamy and so pigmented that you need such a tiny amount. Whenever I use this these days, all I do is this. I go tap, tap, tap. And you see there's product right there. It doesn't look like a lot, but I'm telling you guys, on the cheeks, when I blend it out, it gives such a natural contour already. I don't feel like I need more. I think that this one actually is starting to get a little bit dark for what I want when it comes to my contours. So I'm thinking that within the next like month or two, I may have to be very, very light-handed, even more light-handed than I am with this, or just put it to the side until I do get a little bit more tan again, just because I'm not a fan of when my contours and my bronzers are so dark. I want something that's more of a shadow, and it's getting to be the point where it's a little too dark for that for me now. I do use this a lot. Don't get me wrong. This is still like, I'm trying to get as much use out of this while I can, but it's so creamy that you need like little to no product, which could be a good thing. It could be a great thing, especially if this is going to be like your one and only contour product, you know? Oh, maybe I should check out the lighter. No, let me not do that. I was going to say, let me get the lighter shade, but let me not add another product to buy it to take the place of something I'm trying to pan. That makes no sense. Next, we have the Maybelline Lifter Liner in the shade Let's Bounce. I actually have not used this enough. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I feel like I haven't reached for this that much in the last, I wanna say 2 weeks or so. I have taken this with me traveling. I did use this a ton while I was gone, but since I've been home, I kind of missed some of the products that I had at home. So I haven't really reached for this that much. Still love these though. And these, you guys, are so long lasting. I'm telling you, if you haven't used these Maybelline Lifter Liners yet, I highly recommend that you try them out. I would say formula wise, these are pretty much exact dupes to the Fenty Beauty lip liners. This goes for either one of them. But when you apply this to your lips, you apply it, you know, and then sometimes you may like blend it out, but then they dry down. When a lip liner dries down, it just, you know, it just feels like you don't have any product on it. However, with this lip liner, when this dries down, it almost feels like it has some sort of waterproof film on the lips. Like you can feel it. If you didn't blend it out and you go in with like a thick layer of this, and I notice this especially if I put it all over my lips, like I draw it all over my lips instead of just the outsides. If I do that, I feel almost like I have this dried down, almost like dried glue, like Elmer's glue feeling. You know, if you ever put that on your palm or like the back of your hand and you feel like a little bit of a tight feeling, it almost feels like that. These do not budge. These stay on the lips forever and ever. And it's kind of funny because sometimes I'll use this if I use like a gloss or just a glossy balm type of thing and that fades away, then I'm left with like the lip liner. So I'm like, oh, I gotta reapply so I don't look crazy. It's so, so good. I highly recommend if you're looking for a long wearing lip liner, and they have really great colors actually. I'm very pleased with the like initial colors that they came out with, and I'm excited to see what they expand with. My Glossier lip liner in the shade Buff, you guys, I can't find it. I don't know what happened to it, but this is another one of the lip liners that I've actually been very, very vigilant about using. So I'm really confused as to where this one went because I feel like I just used this like maybe a week ago, but I've traveled with this. I've taken it with me to all of my trips. If I'm not using the Baremineral one, then chances are I'm using the Glossier one, you know. These are pretty much interchangeable when it comes to giving me similar looks on the lips. But the thing about Buff is it's going to have slightly more of a pinky beige tone than this one right here, which is more of a beige cool tone, you know? So that one I feel like I could wear all over the lips and get a little bit more like pinky brown color from it. I really love it. It's nice and creamy. It stays on the lips really, really well. I would say it stays on the lips a little bit longer than the Bareminerals one, but not as long as the Maybelline one. So it's like right there in the middle. I've been so tempted to pick up more of those lip liners, but I'm like, nope, I gotta just use this one because I'm in that mindset where I'm like, this is such a good formula. I love it. It feels so good. It's so creamy. It goes with everything. I need more. Like, I like this product. I need more of it. But I have to remember, and hopefully this reminds you guys as well if you're in the same predicament, that a lot of the times you feel that way because that product is filling a void or making you so happy because it's a combination of the formula, maybe it's the longevity, but also the color. So if you mess with that part of it, you probably won't reach for as much. Or what it'll do is you'll kind of put that original one on the back burner and then just move on to the next and kind of forget about the original, you know? So I don't want to do that to myself because I know that I'm really enjoying this lip liner. So let me just reel it back in. let me enjoy what I have, and I will hopefully find it so I can do a little update picture on my paper for you guys. Hopefully. I have no idea where it went. I checked all of my purses and all of my little pouches and stuff. It's gone. Okay, so that is everything that we have already included in our project pan, but I am adding a handful of things. So I've been thinking about this, right? So I have been thinking, and I'm like not too happy with some of my progress, or the fact that I put some of these products on the back burner that I originally had in this project pan, but I was thinking about it and I was like, what is my goal for this project pan? It's to use up these products. So there's a lot of products here that I'm adding that I feel like I can finish up pretty soon, but because they're not in my project pan, they're not like top priority to use. So I'm like, why don't I just add it to my project pan, you know? And to be quite honest with you guys, because I haven't seen a lot of visual progress with some of these products, it is getting a little bit discouraging. And I'm like, man, this is happening so slowly. So I wanted to include some products that I'm, one, very close to being done with, so I can just like get it out of my collection and move on to like other products that I have, so I use up what I have. And also too, to kind of boost my confidence a little bit, if I'm being completely honest, because right now I'm like, All right, so first I want to add my Makeup Forever Anywhere Caffeine Lip Liner, or sorry, Artist Color Pencil, because you can use this on the eyes, lips, and cheeks, but mainly for me, I use it on my lips. I love this lip liner. It goes with pretty much all of my lip combos. As you can see, it's a little bit lighter. This one I would say is similar to Glossier Buff, where it has a bit of color. It's not just a contour color for me. So here is Anywhere Caffeine, and then here is that Bareminerals one. So you can see they look very similar here, but I'm telling you guys, once it hits the lips, because I don't have very pigmented lips, it does make quite a difference there. I'm very curious to purchase the new version of the Artist Color pencils, like the waterproof or long, what is it called? I think they're the Pro pencils, and they're black, like they're all black here, and then they have the same color cap. I've been swatching those every time I've gone to Sephora. They definitely swatch a little bit darker because I think that formulation requires more pigment, or I don't know, more impact. I couldn't tell you the science behind it, but I have noticed the coloring of all of the Pro pencils are slightly darker, but I still really like the Anywhere Caffeine version of that one. But I'm like, I have this at home. I should finish this before I buy the Pro pencil. And I do notice that it takes a lot more effort to remove the Pro pencil on the back of the hand than it does with this one, because I've swatched them next to each other, and the Pro pencils want to stay on the back of your hand. So I'm like super impressed. I am infatuated, if I would say so myself, but I'm not allowing myself to get them because I have these. So I was like, let's throw her in the project pan. We'll get good use out of it. We'll see if we really, really enjoy this color, keeping in mind that the Pro pencil is a little bit darker, and it'll allow me to get the other one without feeling guilty. I'm gonna be adding our first concealer, which is gonna be this Milk Makeup Concealer. I actually purchased this quite a long time ago, and this is kind of a funny story, or at least to me, I think it's kind of funny. I have this in the shade 15NW, and when I purchased it, I wanna say over a year ago, I purchased this. It was pretty much a perfect match at the time, but then very soon after that, I got much lighter again in complexion, and it just didn't match. I stopped reaching for it, and then in the summertime, I remember pulling this out and I was like, oh, let's start using this again. I love this formulation. I think that this is so, so good. And right now, I would say that this is going to be one of the concealers that is the closest match to my natural skin color. So I can use this as my all over concealer alone or with a foundation or something. It's not matte, but it's not hydrating. It's kind of just skin-like. You can see right there, there is definitely still a little bit of hydration there, but it's not anything that makes me look greasy. And what I love, love, love using this for is to kind of color correct my face. So I have like these marionette lines right here. I like to just put this all over that after I put foundation on, and then I'll put it right here where I get some hollowing under my eyes. I'll put it all over like my acne scars and my sunspots and stuff, just to completely neutralize the face. And then I'll go in with a lighter concealer, and this combination, so good. It makes my makeup just look a little bit more flawless. I love this. This is, oh, by the way, this is called the Future Fluid All Over Cream Concealer. It is just so, so good. It does get a little messy though, I will say, like the opening of this one. It's just kind of unnecessarily ginormous, but the product itself is still really good. This is going to be one that I'm going to have to weigh to like get our initial weight, and then as time goes on, we'll just continue to weigh it. Also, I wanted to add a couple more lip balms because I don't keep losing the Project Pan one that I have already, but I'm putting some Naturium lip balms in here. The Phyto Glow lip balm, like I mentioned, using the Summer Fridays one so often, it's making me kind of crave thicker formulas, and the Naturium ones are definitely thicker, and I just have a lot of the Naturium lip balms, so I thought I would just try to start panning these. This is also going to be something that I'm going to weigh as we progress. I have the shade Crimson and then also the shade Spice. I've had the shade Spice a lot longer than Crimson. This one they recently sent me within the last month, and both of these are beautiful, and I can feel myself wanting to play with more reds and berries, so that's why I'm adding Crimson. It adds a little bit of a brown berry tone, and then Spice I've just had for so long and I really like this color, so I think this will be an easy one for me to finish on. I'm adding my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Powder in the shade number 2 medium. As you can see, we're pretty much almost done with this, but this has been sitting in my drawer for way too long. I can't tell you how long this has been sitting because I obviously use this so often. I love this powder, but then I forgot about it. So I really want to just finish this up. As you can see, we're almost done with it. So we might as well finish her up and make it a point to reach for this one. I used it again today. Really love the way that this looks on the skin. Some more lip products because I just have such a large lip product collection. I need to finish them up. I'm going to add my Milk Kush lip oil. I have been very tempted to pick up the Milk Makeup lip oil set. They have a duo right now with this one and then the shade Guava, which is like the pink shade. And I was like, oh, I'll just get it and then I'll just have a backup because I know I like this. But again, I'm trying to get out of that mindset where I'm going to have backups of things or buying sets just because it's a good deal. But overall, you're spending more money than necessary. I think that this will be a good visual product to see how we do. And this has been in my everyday vanity. If you guys haven't seen that video, I recently refreshed my everyday makeup vanity situation and I added this in there. I think I talked about this in that video, but it's been in my vanity. So I've been reaching for this every day whenever I go in to do my makeup. I use it as lip prep. I love this. It has a very nice sweet peppermint scent to it, and I am a peppermint lover. This just smells so clean. It's definitely more of a medium thickness for a lip oil, so I really enjoy this, so I'm excited to add this. And something that not a lot of people talk about, the Kaja lip oils. First of all, I don't like the little thing in there. I think it's kind of, it's a little annoying the way that it's like always moving around whenever I use it, but that's beside the point. I'm going to add this one. They recently expanded their shade range and they added these like opaque milky colors, and this is in the shade Fig Smoothie. It's so good. I don't know if you guys have used these lip oils. I've talked about these and they are some of the most slept on lip oils. They're just so nice and slick, and they actually have very good pigmentation. I just love them. So nice, so shiny and glossy, and I have again a couple of these lip oils from Kaja, so I thought it would be nice to try to finish one of them up. I'm gonna add an eyeshadow product, and I was very hesitant on this, but I think it's about time that I try to purposely finish this up. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize cream shadow in the shade Amber Gold. This was my very first one, and I love this shade. It is the most beautiful bronzy gold shade without being too yellow, without being too bronze, you know? This looks like a bronze goddess eyelid every time I use this. It is just incredible, insane. This is still very, very creamy. I've never had any of these dry out on me, but as you can see, we are starting to get a really good divot in here. I was looking at this compared to my other cream shadows, and I was like, oh, like we're actually getting pretty down there. So I'm adding this to the mix. I love this product, as well as another cream shadow, the Kulfi Bronze Brocade Cream Shadow. This one, there's quite a bit more product in here. It's right here. This one is going to be a little bit more metallic, a little bit more of a film, whereas the Charlotte Tilbury one kind of goes on like a moussey cream. You can wear it more sheer, but you can also wear it very pigmented. So I think this will actually be really nice and versatile and easy to pan, just because I can use this several different ways. And then lastly, I want to add two fragrances. We did finish up the first fragrance that was in this project pan, which is Fleur Missing Person. So I'm adding my Fleur Father Figure in here. I love this scent. It's so good. I will put the scent notes on here, but this is just such an incredibly unique scent for me. At least very unique for when I purchased this one. It is so clean and fresh. I always think of a Lush Rainforest Fig. Like, it's so clean, and I don't want to say soapy, but it gives that same brightness, you know? This definitely smells like something that could be unisex if you wanted to. My brother-in-law, actually, I like had him spray this on because he's been looking for new fragrance, and he really liked this one too. And it actually smelled a little bit like deeper on him than it does on me. It smells a little brighter on me, but I just love this, and I love to layer this as well. Layering this one with Missing Person, it adds a little bit more depth, if you can believe it. And one of my very recent additions to my perfume collection, my fragrance collection, is this Lake and Sky 1111 Eau de Parfum. They actually sent this one to me a couple weeks back, and I was like, it sounds good. Like, it sounds like I would like it based on the notes. But when I tell you guys, this has become, I want to say, this one has definitely become like a signature scent for me. I said it. It is a beautiful layering scent. It's so hard to describe. It smells very, very clean, almost like laundry, but not like cotton, not linen, like none of that. I don't like smelling like that when it comes to fragrance. This has a little bit of a skin musky scent to it, but a very comforting smell. It's beautiful layered, like layering this with a vanilla. If you are not a gourmand person, or if you want a little bit of sweetness but you don't want to be overtaken by sweetness, pairing it with this one kind of just grounds all of my other fragrances. Like, it makes it smell a little bit warmer, a little bit more skin scent, and whenever I wear this, people are like, you smell so good. Like, it leaves a beautiful sillage whenever you're like walking around. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And you guys can see right here, there's already a little bit of a dent right there. This was full, and I have been spraying this nonstop, and I think I've had this less than a month now. I love it. It's so good. So I wanted to add this one because my fragrance collection, believe it or not, you guys, is starting to get a little bit large. So I was like, how did this happen? So I'm going to try to finish these up, and yeah, I'm excited. All right, you guys, that is everything for this video. I'm really excited about our additions to this project pan, and I'm excited to pull out the products that we kind of like tucked away. So hopefully the next time we all get back together, there's a lot more progress, because I'm feeling like I need to do more. Like, I was a little bit hesitant about filming this video because I was like, oh, I don't think that there's enough progress in these, but I want to be very transparent, very real with you guys, and show you that it's not every time that we get back together, you're gonna see a huge progression, you know? So, like, some of this is gonna be very steady and slow, but we are doing it, we are trying. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have joined me on this project pan and how you're doing with your products. I would love to know what you guys have been working on. I hope you guys enjoyed this little break from our crazy sales content that I've been doing recently. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!